This is me in 2018, an Assembly District Delegate for the California Democratic Party. I'll explain what that means in a second, but first let me explain how I got there. In 2016, I and many young liberal Americans were politically energized to support then presidential candidate Bernie Sanders. He spoke truth to power and corporate interests in a way I had never really seen on the national stage. But he was unsurprisingly strategically shunned by the Democratic establishment in favor of Hillary Clinton. For me, Clinton felt like a continuation of superficial liberal values and corporate interests, while Trump appeared as a wolf masked as the savior, pretending to be a hero of the working class while only really caring about his own interests and those in his class. For the people like me, the race was already lost by the time it was between Hillary and Trump. But still, I voted for Clinton and was very disappointed when I learned that Trump had won. I was feeling pretty hopeless, but Bernie's campaign continued to push for progress, and on one weekend I got a message encouraging progressive supporters to attend ADEMs, Assembly Delegate Election Meetings. All I understood was that it was a way to represent my assembly district in the California Democratic Party and perhaps push for a more progressive approach. And so with a little inner rage and blind optimism, I signed up and I joined the meeting. Upon arriving, I had no idea that there were going to be speeches and voting, but I came up with a speech on the spot, essentially sharing the values that I cared about. And somehow, after sharing those thoughts and speaking to the people there, I got enough votes that I was elected one of the delegates to represent the Assembly District. It turned out one of our primary roles was voting for which candidates the Democratic Party should endorse and thus fund. And so I was invited to talk and meet with candidates running to be representatives of Congress.
So today is the pre-endorsement conference for the California Democratic Party,
and I voted for a candidate who best represented what I care about and I think may best represent us.
Yeah, with each meeting, call, and finally convention, it became very clear to me that the purpose of all of this, all of these meetings, it wasn't about policy, it wasn't about discussing the right ideas. It was clear. We were right, they were wrong. Every conversation was centered around how we could win. Perhaps I'm naive or idealistic, but that wasn't why I was there.
Politics is weird.
It was all about games of strategies of winning, but very little about what we're winning for. You vote for me and I'll support you and we'll get behind this candidate and they'll get elected and then our party will be winning. It always felt about how the party could win. Yet there felt little opportunity to critique and reflect and revise the platform for which it stood. I was there because the Democratic Party wasn't taking bold enough steps to fight corporate interests, to support universal healthcare and access to education. Sadly, through that experience, I lost much of my interest in politics, or rather politicians. Still, there are politicians now even, like Bernie, who I believe hold true to their values of serving the public interest. Opting out of politics isn't an option. Some politicians still have a greater understanding and appreciation for ethics than others. Yet so much of the system incentivizes money and support and endorsements and winning. It's politics over policy when it should be policy over politics. Yet with time, it's become more clear to me that the real power of change rests with the people. Because when the people really demand it and really know their power, they win. The politicians must follow. They have no choice. But the game, the parties, the show, the choosing between Coke and Pepsi instead of caring about the contents is what continues to distract us from demanding real policy change. Fight for values and rights and policy, not a political party. They don't care about you. They care about winning. Subscribe to support what I do, and I'll see you next week. Peace.